Our next speaker is Michael Johnson. Michael is a sophomore here at the university, and he is from Troy, Michigan. Let's welcome Michael.
"93, 62, and 8. What do these numbers mean? 93 is the percentage of boys who are exposed to pornography. 62 is the percentage of girls who are exposed. 8 is the average age of exposure. I am proof of this. I was exposed to pornography at the age of 8. Child exposure to pornography is a pervasive issue in our society, bearing destructive mental and physical effects. Having suffered from it, I must address this issue. Before I do, I must make 3 things clear. First, the terms child and children in this speech recognizes anyone under the legal age of majority, that being 18 years old. Second, I understand that pornography is a touchy subject, so I give you my word I will not be explicit in any way. Finally, I must ask 2 things of you. Consider the need for further discussion of this issue and acknowledge the truth of it. Think of the children you have a connection to. They might have been exposed to pornography. That is difficult to accept, but it is the truth. It is crucial you continue this discussion, and it is time you acknowledge the truth. If not, your children may suffer as I have. Moving forward, I will expose the truth in 3 ways. First, by examining the cause. Second, by examining the effects. And finally, by offering 3 solutions. But first, let me offer you one joke, as I know pornography is a touchy subject. What do you call an alligator in a vest? An investigator. Let's investigate the cause of this issue. The cause is straightforward. Internet accessibility has increased. No longer are children limited to stationary internet connections. Mobile electronic devices, such as cell phones, afford children a constant internet connection. The Pew Research Center of Internet Science and Tech estimates that 95% of children access the internet using a computer or a mobile device. 74% only use a mobile device. Of that, 25% only use a cell phone. As internet accessibility has increased, concern has been raised. Parents disturbed by the fact that children are at risk of exposure to graphic content, specifically pornography. The fear many parents have: exposure to pornography becomes a common experience in a child's life. Parents, I am sorry, but your deepest fear has come true. According to the University of New Hampshire study, The Nature and Dynamics of Internet Pornography Exposure for Youth, it can be described as a normative experience. Exposure occurs in 2 ways, unintentionally or intentionally. Unintentional exposure is defined as the involuntary viewing of pornography. This occurs when pornographers employ website-altering techniques. One such technique is pornapping. InternetSafety101.org defines pornapping as when pornographers purchase expired domain names. So what was once a legitimate web address for a benign website now leads users to a pornographic website. I was a victim of pornapping. I never wanted it to happen, it just did. The images I saw lingered in my head, and it wasn't long until I began viewing pornography with intent. Intentional exposure is defined as the voluntary viewing of pornography. In viewing, I found that in order to access certain sites, I had to pay or assure that I was 18 years or older. Now, I didn't have any money, so I would repeatedly lie about my age. However, it came to a point where I didn't even have to do that. I discovered free pornographic websites. As claimed by the 2014 Pornography Statistics Report published by CovenantEyes.com, 80% of internet pornography is free. The cause is straightforward. Internet accessibility has increased, exposure occurring unintentionally or intentionally. Let's transition and examine the effects. But first, the truth. How do you find Will Smith in the snow? You follow the Fresh Prince. The effects or prints of this issue are both mental and physical. Let's begin with the mental effects. When exposed, a child is at risk of developing unhealthy sexual attitudes. Dr. Johan Pieter of the University of Amsterdam offers evidence in support of this. He found that when exposed, children are more likely to develop a recreational attitude towards sex, or view it as a physical function, like eating or drinking. Now, sex is a physical function, but it goes way beyond that. It involves love, intimacy, and connection between two individuals. Viewing sex in any other way than this is misguided. Moreover, he found that boys began viewing women as sexual playthings, and girls were accepting this. Seriously? No, in no way should a young boy view a woman as a toy. In contrast, a young girl should not accept this. Children are being misguided, forced into developing unhealthy sexual attitudes. The most devastating mental effect is addiction. In response to a pleasing activity, the chemical dopamine is released in the brain. When this occurs, the brain takes note that it felt good, so the activity should be repeated. Like any drug, pornography is dangerous because it creates excessive amounts of dopamine. Over time, the viewer loses will and is consumed. Children are at great risk for addiction. Peter Calavis, director and chairman of the Department of Neuroscience at the University of South Carolina, explains this. A child's brain is simply not mature enough to control or suppress any sexual desires elicited by pornography. Over time, my attitudes changed and I became addicted. Mentally, I was suffering. Though I did not suffer physically, the physical effects I will share with you are the most severe and the most common. Pornography teaches children a dangerous lesson. Sex without responsibility is acceptable. A result of this has been the increase in children contracting sexually transmitted diseases. According to ProtectKids.com, 3 million children contract an STD each year. That's more than all the victims of polio in its 11-year epidemic from 1942 to 1953. A more obvious result of this is unplanned pregnancy. In the US, 3 in 10 young females will get pregnant before the age of 20. That's over 700,000 unplanned pregnancies each year. The most disturbing physical effect is deviant sexual behavior. Studies suggest that exposure to pornography prompts children to act out sexually, usually with a younger friend or even a younger family member. A recent law enforcement case study found that 20% of sexual offense cases involving minors included a younger family member. Also reported in this case study, 4,562 minors committed 5,028 sexual offenses. Shocking enough, many police officers reported children of the age of 5 committing these offenses. After all that, how about a joke? What kind of tea is difficult to swallow? Reality. This reality is difficult to swallow, but you must do it. Let's accept this reality and transition into discussing 3 solutions. Solution number 1, internet filtering software. All computers come equipped with internet filters. However, these prove to be ineffective. NetNanny is the #1 rated internet filtering software on the market, providing protection on computers and mobile devices. Even incorporating age-based profiles to help parents determine what settings are best. The Washington Post states that NetNanny is the most effective internet filter we have tested. At $40 for a year protection, one can't go wrong. Take this information and pay it forward. Doing so will help parents and protect children. A second solution, a stricter age verification system. I propose the porn standard age verification system be re-examined. Increase the age of access to all pornographic websites to 21 years old. Newsmedical.net states that the human brain isn't fully developed until the early 20s. If all alcohol products pose harm to a developing brain and the legal age of consumption is 21, the same can and must be done with pornography. A third solution. I propose that all 3 pornographic websites be reconfigured into paid access sites. This proves beneficial for both parties, lucrative for pornographers and protective for children. When you walk out that door, take this information and use it. Hold discussions in dorms or in work settings, organize over social media, and place this information into your literature and spoken word. Uphold your freedom of speech. By law, pornography is protected by the First Amendment, but children are being exposed to it, severely affecting them mentally and physically. Now, you can't violate a pornographer's freedom of speech, but know this, they can't violate yours. Child exposure to pornography is a pervasive issue in our society. I now hope you consider the need for further discussion of this issue and have acknowledged the startling truth. Internet accessibility has increased, putting children at risk of unintentional or intentional exposure. When exposed, a child is severely affected mentally and physically. You now possess information on effective internet filtering software and have heard my proposals. Now take this information and use it. Uphold your First Amendment right. 93, 62, and 8. Need I explain what these numbers mean? As proof, in having suffered, I had to address this issue. My hope is that my voice lingers with you. How about one last joke? Two fish swim into a concrete wall. They both look at each other and say, "Damn." We have run into a disturbing issue. Two people alone will look at it and be shocked. But populations of people, like the one in this room, will look at each other and say, "Let's do this. Let's put an end to child exposure to pornography." Thank you.